such an honor, honestly. Like, I love her books so much because she writes characters so three-dimensionally and she's so good at plot and story. And so, yeah, it's an honor to be contributing something to the Hooververse for sure. But it's also intimidating to be like, this is Morgan, this is Jonah, this is Clara, this is Miller. So we humbly submit this to the Hooververse. We hope you approve. I think you will. We tried really hard. It's vital, you know. It was like, it only works if you're on the ride with us, if you're feeling what we're feeling, whether you agreed with it or not. And some of these characters make decisions that I think most people disagree with over the course of the movie. So I feel like, yeah, it's just one of those very human stories. It's just about the biggest things that come up for people emotionally. I just think that it's never too late to make a choice that's going to make this life worth living. And that comes with a lot of privilege. We aren't always in a position to be able to choose your way out of a bad situation. Sometimes you get to be the agent of choice, sometimes it's thrust upon you. But the movie just invites people to think about the decisions they've made, where they are in life, and how they feel about it.
It was pretty great. I mean, get a load of this guy. He's pretty charming. It was very fun to get to do this like kind of romance film with him, especially because Mason was like my best friend for ages before shooting. So, you know, sometimes films or things like this with the romance aspects, or I guess also the drama and the trauma and the grief of it all is also so scary to portray and to perform, but it's nice to be able to do it with somebody that you're so comfortable with and feel so safe with. So, you know, this was such a beautiful experience all around, but it was also so wonderful. Nobody I would have rather done it with. The chemistry? God, extensive work. It was so difficult to have chemistry with him. It was the easiest thing I've ever done. I mean, like I said, it definitely helped that I knew Mason for so long beforehand, before shooting, but I feel like even if we met each other just on the day, like it would have been the exact same result. We've always just like clicked, so honestly we didn't have to do much, but we did go through the script a million times before shooting, so I don't know. It just happened.
I mean, honestly, that was the easiest part. I mean, me and Mckenna, from the first time meeting her, I met her like a year in advance before filming, and I've never clicked with something like that in my life. It was just so easy. So the fact we got to, and I feel like going into a job like this, normally it's somebody you've never met before, so it can be a little awkward and kind of going through the motions. But with Mckenna, it was so easy, and we just had a lot of fun. So getting to do it with her was special. First of all, everybody, you know, there's so many people who love this book and love these characters and love Miller so much, especially me. So it was really important to do him justice, and for me and the fans, and just bring him to life best I could. I mean, it genuinely is. I mean, every single character, I mean, it's what drew me to it in the first place, is it's just so real. And all these characters make mistakes, and they're not villains for it, they're just people at the end of the day. And I think that's why so many people, no matter what age you are, you can just put yourself in anybody's shoes and just relate. It was the most special thing I've probably done in my career yet. Yeah.
It's amazing. It's amazing. It's also a big responsibility. You know, there's huge fans of the book out there, and so we wanted to honor that. And for me, stepping into this role, I felt comfortable because this character is actually closer to who I am than maybe any other role I've ever played, and so that allowed me to kind of be free and just bring some of myself to it. Yeah, I mean, I think our director, Josh Boone, he really directed us in a way where he wanted everything to feel very subtle and real and grounded and not lean into the melodrama. Like, everything's there, just play it real. And, like, you know, his guiding light were directors like Cameron Crowe. I think about movies like Jerry Maguire or Almost Famous or Say Anything. And those movies, they kind of have a little bit of everything. They got the drama, they got the tears, they got the humor, they got just the relatable characters that just feel true to life. We could use some hope, for sure. And I think that's why people will respond to this movie is like, I don't know, just speaking for me, the types of films and TV shows that I'm seeking out, it's a little harder to go to that darker stuff right now just because of what's going on in the world. And so something like this, it's nice to just walk out of the theater, feel some hope, feel some catharsis, and just like kind of feel a little bit lighter.
Oh man, I mean, this film, the highlight of this film just being that like love can be so messy sometimes was something that really like connected with me. At least when I first read the script, it was just like the fact that this film is something that really highlights just how love can be so messy, but you can still like kind of just go through with it, and just kind of dealing with that in a relationship is just so beautiful, I think, to me. Just like that messiness and how beautiful that can be, and just struggling through that. So yeah, that's what I remember when I read the script for the first time, for sure. It was like we just kind of just clicked immediately, and we all had this group chat, and we were all hanging out like outside a set, and it was like I was back in high school or something, you know? It was kind of like that. But yeah, that made it so easy, and it just made the chemistry between all of our characters in this film and every take I did so much easier. And I think if anything, that I'm just so happy that they made it so smooth for me. So yeah, for real.
I want to represent my people, the Gen Z folk of the world, and that it's easy to even in grief and tragedy to make light and joke around, and that's a lot of like the coping mechanisms of my generation, and you've just got to represent that. Absolutely. Gen Z, you gotta see this because you're gonna laugh, you're gonna cry, you're gonna have a good time, and then you're gonna freak out about college admissions just like they do in the movie.
I did a Nicholas Sparks movie a while ago, and so that was based, sort of, it had a similar type of thing. You have a built-in audience. I think you just want to make the audience happy. That's why we're able to make these movies, because of the audience, and it's able to go to theaters, which is important. So that's all we're doing. Yeah, that's what I liked about the film is it's not, it really tackles the gray area in life, and it's grounded. It's messy. This movie's messy. It's not fairy tale like, and I think that's what people gravitate to her books. That's why people liked the Blake Lively film, because it's messy and it's dealing with real shit.
I just think there are very few movies in theaters today that are about people. There's a lot of spectacle, and I like all that stuff, but I'd love a little bit more variety, like when I was younger and there were 5 movies that came out every week that were different genre. That Colleen Hoover is such a megastar allows us to put a movie in theaters about a family, about parents and children, about love, about regrets, about all that. That's cool. That's a superpower she has, that like you couldn't write an original script like this and get it out in a theater like this. Colleen Hoover, she is our vehicle for this. I mean, it's amazing. When I made Fault in Our Stars, it had a similar fan following. And, we just tried to be as true to the book as possible. I did not want Colleen Hoover mad at me. So we were really fans ourselves, so we just tried our best to please everybody, and make a great one based on her book. I think everything I've ever made is a coming-of-age movie. My first movie was called Stuck in Love, and it was with Jennifer Connelly and Greg Kinnear, and they are parents to teenage kids, and it sort of tells their stories simultaneously. So this one's not that far off from that one, and it also is about that moment in a teenager's life where they realize that their parents are fallible and human, and have an inner life that they don't know about, and have made huge sacrifices for their children that the kids don't know about, It was sort of that, I guess that was what grabbed me about it. I mean, look, it's a roller coaster. I mean, it's, that is what Colleen Hoover does, with plot twist after plot twist and, heart-grabbing moment after another. So it's a lot of that sort of thing. I enjoyed making it. It was fun to do, and people seem to be enjoying it when they watch it. Dude, they're just so awesome. Every time I go home to Virginia to visit my mom, she's watching Young Sheldon on Netflix. So I had seen McKenna there, and then my son had been watching Ghostbusters, the 2 that she was in. And when I met her in person, she looked nothing like the character in Ghostbusters, and I just thought she was a chameleon and was a really incredible actor. Dude, I think she's like Julia Roberts amazing in this. Like, I think this is a big movie for her. That she really. I mean, I knew she was the only person for it, but I had no idea how good she was going to be. Fantastic. He's so great. I loved him so much in Black Phone because Steve King's son, Joe Hill, wrote that. So I was already invested as a longtime fan and friend. So I was already wanted him. We really didn't want anybody else. We got the best actors you could possibly hope for a film like this.
I mean, honestly, for me, it felt so natural. Colleen was my first author friend, like before we even had bigger author careers. So I've known her for so long, and we've always been really close. We were both in Texas. So it felt really natural, even when I went to her about getting the rights I only had a tiny bit of producing experience on my own adaptations. So I was like, what do you think about maybe selling me one of your books? I want to start getting the rights to romances and because I'm such a romance person. I'm like, we should be, people like me or people like Flavia, another producer, Brunson, we should be the ones making these movies because we are the consumer. And she was like, sure, whatever. And she's so easygoing and we know each other so well. So it's been really cool. And then I'm pretty familiar because of being friends with her for so long. I was very familiar with her fan base. And there's some crossover there in the romance world. So I feel like I already know her fan base and how massive they are so it was pretty cool. And it's also feels like we're giving you another Hooververse, so it's cool. When you see someone, especially like Mason and Mckenna, where it's undeniable. It's literally takes you into the story. And we've had women say, which is my favorite thing of it brought me back to when I was a teenager, my first love. And I just love that because it's not just for teens to be like, oh, I want this. It's women to have that nostalgia of what that felt like and what that feels like. And we all can relate to that.
Well, we hope that we did the book justice. It seems like from the fact that we've had about 40 sororities see the film and they go nuts over it, and actually you're excited to see the movie in theaters because of the gas and the laughter and the tears. That's exactly what it's like reading a Colleen Hoover book. So I think we delivered the goods. I think that the characters are totally relatable to kind of everyone's family because no family is perfect. Everybody, has their issues with their mom or their daughter, but really when it comes down to it, it's all about love and communication, and it's got a great message I think everybody can relate to. When cast Mason and Mckenna, they called themselves and started hanging out themselves, and so they became best friends over the course of the 7 months before we shot the film.
Everywhere, everything.